right, and hello, world. This is another edition of Launcher Live. I was about to say it's a special edition of Launcher Live, but that's not really true. This is pretty part of the norm for us. I am Jhaan Elker. I am the video editor and producer for the Washington Post video team, and I know you've got a bunch of questions just looking at this image right here. So, why am I wearing a mask? First reason is that I'm actually in the Washington Post office currently, and it's mandatory for anybody that comes in to wear a mask for safety purposes. So please let me know in the chat if you really can't hear my voice because it sounds really muffled in the actual chat, and I will go ahead and try my best to accommodate in the moment. Normally, I'm the person behind the scenes in the stream, but on rare occasions I come out of the wild and basically show off any prowess that I can with my video game skills. And that definitely applies to today, which I will get into momentarily, because we are playing... We're playing some Pokemon Unite. And not only that, we are going to be playing via... mobile. And so there's a lot of things that I want to get into today. The first of which is going to be basically how do you get to Master Rank, which is the top rank in ranked modes for this MOBA game. Long story short, I'm going to show it on screen really quickly. As you can see right here, maybe about 2 to 3 weeks ago, I finally hit Master Rank. But long story short, sorry about that, guys. I've got my notifications on, so it might pop up from time to time. But long story short, I hit Master Rank not too long ago, and found a lot of useful tools and a lot of useful strategies that you can do to get here. And I'm going to get into a lot of them today, because I kind of want to help out the newcomers. There's a stigma that comes with mobile players that, like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, and I kind of want to equip you with the best tools that you can to get ahead for everyone else. So before we even get into any ranked matches, there are 2 things that I want to get out of the way right away. One is that, yes, I'm going to admit it, I bought the Battle Pass, and I can already hear the sighs from the fans. Basically, like, why are you doing that, man? Like, you're paying to win. The only reason why you're winning is because you're rich or like you have money. First of all, I'm not rich, but because I'm a journalist. You're never rich if you're a journalist. But why are you doing this? And so my response to that is, I pay for the Battle Pass because I want to support something that I really like. It's very akin to, in my opinion, throwing a donation to a Twitch streamer that you really love, or, supporting a Patreon. Basically just, I want to support something that I really like, and I'm going to get some perks as a result for that. And so this is no different. By the way, looking great in that Irish skirt. Might want to actually get that at some point. So that's the reason why I bought it. The other counter to that is that a lot of discourse when this game first came out was the question of, is this game pay to win? And while you could have maybe made an argument when the game first came out, I now submit to you that there's no way that you can. And the reason why is because with the mobile launch that just happened a couple of days ago, the developers actually gave everybody that downloads the game critical items that kind of get rid of that. And I'm going to show it to you really quickly here. Okay, so these items right here, the Super Item Enhancer, what it essentially does is they give you 3 of them. They give everybody 3 of them, and it automatically increases your held item that you have to the maximum level. And if your item is not at the maximum level, you can use it on that item, and you'll get all of the item enhancers that you used to get to that level back to you. So, in a sense, they're basically saying, here are 3 free level 30 items for you, which basically eliminates every single concern that the pay-to-win model that fans that were, like, disgruntled were kind of, like, pointing to. It's just like, what the heck? Like, the held items in this game basically give you stat boosts, they give you certain perks in battle, and the best way to actually get those is to pay using item enhancers. But now that they're giving this item that automatically gives you that maximum level, then what... That's a coworker of mine, by the way. Say hi, Elise, if you're in the chat. Now that these item enhancers are in the game, there's kind of no counter-narrative to that. Like, why precisely, like, this game could potentially be play to win. So that's the reason why I have that. Now, the other thing that I want to do before we actually get into some battles is give you some strategies going forward. I think that there are particular Pokemon that you can choose or at least buy from the store really early in the game that's going to really help you climb ranks a lot easier. I think that... Sorry, one second. I'm going to just check something on my audio end really quickly to make sure that we are all set to go. Okay, I think we're all set now. Sorry if you heard like this like robotic voice or whatever. I just got a notification for that you might have just seen fly across the screen. But you won't hear that anymore. Again, I apologize. I'm usually the guy behind the scenes, so it's hard to do both at once. Regardless, let's get back to the topic at hand. So I am going to show you a couple of strategies and Pokemon that I think are the ones that you should go for if you want to climb ranks, because there are definitely ones that are more inclined to help you climb ranks than others. So let's get to the practice area right now, and I will show off a couple of Pokemon that I think are going to be really good for this. Let's start with this guy right here. So this guy is a prime example of what I think is known as a carry Pokemon. Long story short, a lot of this game revolves around the ability to eliminate very special Pokemon in the game that give your entire team perks. The two biggest ones being Dreadnought, which appears on the bottom of the map every single time, and Zapdos, which only appears at the 2-minute mark of the game and doubles your score, while also eliminating any scoring timers on your goals. And the reason why characters like Greninja that you see on the screen is so critical is because they have the ability to snipe from a distance. What that basically means is, I'll go into the game to actually show you, but what that basically means is that the bonus that's given to Dreadnought or given to Zapdos is only given to the person that actually kills the Pokemon itself. So even if the team were to whittle down the other Pokemon's health right down to 1%, so long as you get the killing shot, your team gets the bonuses. And that's what makes this Pokemon so great. And so I'm going to go into this match right now just to show what I mean. Greninja is also one of the Pokemon that helped me get to Master Rank. There are 3 Pokemon in particular, and I'll show you who they are later, that actually got me to Master Rank, and all 3 of them got really badly nerfed in the latest patch, which really sucks. But, so, Greninja. The good thing about Greninja is that he has a lot of ranged attacks that really allow him to snipe objectives, especially from tall grass, which hides your Pokemon from the opposing team. So, what I'm going to do right now in the settings, as soon as I find out where exactly they are, is I am going to... Oh, here it is. It's over in the top left corner. Sorry about that. I'm going to increase the level just so I get my Unite move right away. The Unite move for Greninja is in itself a sniping move. There we go. Mostly because you can actually throw it in a distance. So what you want to do as a player is become familiar with when the Dreadnought spawns and when the Zapdos spawns appear on the map. So the Dreadnought spawn appears at the 7-minute mark of the game. Games are 10 minutes long each. And they're always going to appear right down here. Do you see where there's like that, it kind of is like a Mew looking icon? That's where they're going to appear. The cool thing about Dreadnought, and the reason why you might hear rotate to Dreadnought thrown around a lot, is that rotate to Dreadnought basically means your team wants you to, no matter where you are, whenever Dreadnought appears, go here and try to defeat him. The reason why is because he provides your team, everybody, a XP boost, a pretty substantial one too. Like, you'll usually get 2 to 3 levels every single time you beat him. especially early game. And not only that, your team will get a shield that will not only prevent you from getting damaged, but it's also helpful to score on these goals after the fact. So what you'll find early on is that a lot of the early game, especially around the 7-minute mark, is going to be centered right around this area here. And so whenever you hear comments from people just being like, God, I wish my team would rotate to Dreadnought, this is exactly what they mean. Right at the 7-minute mark, try to get your Pokemon down here to help. See that timer that just popped up? That's what I'm talking about. So as soon as this is finished, Dreadnought's going to appear here. And this is actually a great opportunity to show you what I mean by sniping. So one of the reasons why I think that Greninja, and I'll show you other examples of this type of Pokemon, is a great carry Pokemon, is because they have moves in their toolkit that allow you to, no matter what your team is doing, even if they're terrible, get objectives and kill these characters like Dreadnought for your team without the other team knowing. So in this example, I'm going to use my Unite move, and do you see how it is ranged and it actually allows me to attack him from a distance, even from this hidden grass area? This is exactly what you should try to do if you notice that your team isn't rotating to Dreadnought, if they're not really cooperating, and you have to take matters into your own hand. This is perfect for the solo queue players that don't have other teammates that they can rely on. So in this instance, hide in the grass right here, throw out a Unite move at the very last second to try to kill and secure the Dreadnought to let your team get the XP boost and really turn the tide of battle. You can do the same exact thing with Zapdos, who appears in this area right here. And Zapdos is huge in this game because essentially what he ends up doing is, I'll kill this guy here really quick for anybody that's not familiar with the game, but long story short, whenever you want to score a goal in this game, there's a timer depending on how many points you actually have in your Pokemon, which, by the way, it's going to be right here on screen underneath my potion. So did you see how there was that circle effect? That's the timer that's associated with you scoring. When you secure Zapdos, when your team kills him, gets the killing blow, that timer is eliminated and you can score automatically. On top of that, all of your points are doubled. And so as a result, securing Zapdos at the end of the game is actually critical for winning the games. And so that's what makes these sniper Pokemon like Greninja so big. Because no matter what your team is doing, no matter what nonsense they're doing, they're not rotating Dreadnought, they're not going to Zapdos, you can always secure the win with these snipe shots. So what I want to show you next at this point, oh my gosh, thank you Nathan Grayson, by the way. Shout out to Nathan, he's been doing some really great work for us at the Washington Post. But what I want to do next at this point is I want to show you the type of characters that I think qualify. By the way, yeah, I'm totally going to get... Okay, great. Good job beating me in a practice match. Practice partner, Venusaur. So, what I want to do next is I want to show you more characters that kind of fall into this category. The ones that can snipe objectives and from there basically secure victories even if your partners aren't doing stupid things. So Greninja might not be the greatest choice right now because he actually just got a nerf in the recent patch. It's not a substantial nerf, but he definitely got a damage reduction and he definitely lost a lot of HP in the nerf, which is really bad actually because he's already squishy to begin with. So there are other characters that can do the job really well. This little boy right here, he is great at sniping, and it's because, let me see if I can pull it up right here right now. Yeah, here it is. It's because of this move right here. Solar Beam has an insane range. You might look at the cooldown and be like, wow, 10 seconds, that stinks. But this is perfect for the strategy that I just outlined. Venusaur is really good at just hiding in grass really far away and just sniping people with the Solar Beam attack from a really, really far distance. I might actually show it to you in the practice really quick just to show what I mean. But, this is why I think that Venusaur has a place in the meta, even though a lot of people don't consider him as strong as other Pokemon. There's other Pokemon that have this sniping capability and that range too. A really good example is going to be Here he is. Uh, Cinderace, which, again, this is proof that I bought the Battle Pass, because this costume is only available for those that buy the Battle Pass. So Cinderace has a move, which essentially does the same thing that Venusaur's does. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So not only is his Unite move really good at this, it's kind of similar to Greninja's, but he also has, let's see, where is it? Pyro Ball. Yes, Pyro Ball, which just recently got a huge buff. The cooldown for it got reduced by a second, which, again, that doesn't sound huge, but a second in this game is very big when you consider that each game is only 10 minutes long, so every second counts. What's this guy's name? It's not Incineroar. That's the last gen. Cinderace. There it is. So Cinderace is actually another one of these like really great snipers that you can use as a result to get there. So I want to move on to the next category of Pokemon so it doesn't get bogged down. But the other type of Pokemon that you might want to consider using if you don't want to be the person that's responsible for getting these like really important kills for your team, defenders. A lot of people would suggest that maybe you should go with a support type like my boy Wigglytuff right here, who, even though Wigglytuff got nerfed, I still think that like Wigglytuff is tough. The buff is the puff is tough is my phrase that I normally use for them. But I think that defenders are actually more useful categorically for you winning games on your own and for solo queue. And the reason why that is, by the way, look how fly Blastoise looks like this. Like, if this guy came across me on the street, I'd be like, here's my wallet, sir. Like, you deserve it. But anyways, so Blastoise is a great example, I think, of what the defender brings to the table and game-changing moves that you can do by yourself without a team. And I'm going to go into a practice match again really quick just to show what I mean. Blastoise is a little overtuned at the moment because he's the newest Pokemon. And so obviously the developers want people to, you know, the developers want the gamers to be attracted to him because he wasn't there from the beginning. So they have to like overtune him a little bit for incentive. But Blastoise is really good at pushing. And that sounds a little silly, but pushing is actually very huge in this game. A lot of people see games like MOBAs and think that, the only thing that matters is damage. That's it. That's not true. The biggest thing that matters in MOBA games are positioning and movement options. And that's why Blastoise is so awesome at what he does. Let me go ahead and get the build that I think is really good for Blastoise to kind of just show you what I mean. And it will always... This is the build that I think will always be good going forward, because his other build actually got super duper nerfed. So, oh my gosh. Thank you everybody at the Washington Post that's been retweeting me. I appreciate the support. But, let's see. Hydro Pump and Surf. Okay, good. So, Hydro Pump and Surf, I think, is the build that you should go with Blastoise. And basically any defender, if you want to do solo queue. The reason why is because when you're in your goalpost like this, you get a substantial HP regeneration. It's a strategy that people do when they're losing a lot of health. They'll basically retreat back to one of these goals and just be like, oh, you can't kill me now because like I have insane health buffs and I have a huge advantage. So, as a result, two of Blastoise's moves actually push enemies very far away and can push them theoretically out of this goal. Like this one. Or this one. It's not flashy, it doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's going to get your opponents way out of position such that your teammates can kill them and the enemies that are getting attacked won't get this health buff that'll keep them alive all the time. One of my favorite strategies to do, there's this one item, it's called the eject button, and I kind of wish that I picked it for this, but I didn't. But it basically teleports your character a set distance away. It's the best item in the game by far, and you should always bring it to every single battle. But long story short, one of my favorite things to do is sometimes enemies will be dancing around here, basically defending their post. And one of the funnest things to do with defenders is teleport behind them and then use... Oops. Sorry, I pushed the wrong button there. And then use a move like this to push them way out of the way so that they're closer to your team and they don't get the health buff. And so you kill them, and as a result can score very easily. This utility, this positioning utility, is something that only the defender class can currently bring. Snorlax is also a great example of this that I don't have time to show you right now, but basically he has a wall attack that allows you to push Pokemon. So definitely take a look into defenders too, because they won't score the most points on teams, but they have the capacity to get your opponents out of position for your other teammates to make big plays. The other big thing is that usually a lot of games ends with a scramble at Zapdos right here. I'm not going to wait for the full 4 minutes, because otherwise, this would be a totally boring video. But long story short, what ends up happening is a lot of games come down to who can capture Zapdos first. And first things first, rule of thumb, if you're leading, don't attack Zapdos. Your goal is to protect Zapdos. Make sure that he doesn't die and that the other team who's desperate and needs to catch up doesn't defeat Zapdos. So what you're going to do is you're going to be hovering around the center area, and you're basically going to be doing everything you can to stop the enemies from attacking. Then, if you can secure the fact that they won't defeat Zapdos, you're going to win based off of, the pure numbers that you've done throughout the entire game. But let's say just on the off chance, because there are some people that are going to be sniping, like I mentioned before, with Venusaur from a far distance, and there's things that you just can't account for. And they end up getting Zapdos, and it's like, oh my god, now it seems like we're definitely going to lose. That's what makes defenders so great, because they're the only type of Pokemon in this game that have a chance for your team still winning even if the other team gets Zapdos. And the way that they do that is through these moves that push them away. They're the only moves that can push them away from the goal and hope that the timer, the cooldown timer for Zapdos' buffs, the thanks, announcer guy. They're basically the only hope that you have for the buff where the goal timer is gone, goes away entirely. So that's why I think that at the end of the day, you need to go with either a Pokemon that has capacity to snipe, so a ranged attacking Pokemon, or a defender, somebody that can, worst case scenario, if the other team actually ends up taking Zapdos and has a chance to come back at the end of the day, at the very least, you can push them away from the goal. You can try to hope that the timer for Zapdos runs out before they can actually, end up scoring their goals and catching up to you. So that's kind of all I wanted to say about that. I'm going to check the chat really quickly because I've been ignoring it for a little bit to see if there are any questions that you guys have for me. Let me see really clearly. Okay, great. So this is a great question from Nightingale Little. So Nightingale Little is asking, I'd love to know what items are good to upgrade. I think that, and this might be a little embarrassing because I have a lot of items that are at level 30 at this point. I think that there are a couple of held items in particular that are way overtuned. One in particular is the Score Shield. It doesn't look like a lot when you look at it. It's basically an HB boost, and it provides a shield that makes you invulnerable to anybody that's trying to interrupt your scoring process for a set time based off of how much HP you have remaining. What that essentially means is that, there's going to be this white bar that appears in your health bar that indicates that's the Score Shield. If your opponent Pokemon can get through that before you finish scoring, before the reticle fills, then you're not going to be able to score. The thing is, on really tanky Pokemon, like my boy Wigglytuff right here, you're going to have a really substantial amount of that bar. And so, as a result, this item is not only great for securing points and making sure that you actually get points, but it actually pairs really wonderfully with a couple of other items, like this item right here. So there are two items in the game in particular that raise your attack bonus. There are the special attack specs right here, and there's the attack weight, which does the same exact thing for attack. Long story short, what these items do is they increase the amount of special attack and regular attack, and you can see what type your Pokemon is in the Pokemon menu screen, with each time that you actually end up scoring. So you can only do this 6 times, but each time that you score, no matter how many points you're actually scoring, you get a bonus. So what this means essentially is that if you were to score like 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point really quickly in the match, like in the first 30 seconds, guess what? You have a 6 times multiplier on your special attack or your attack right at the beginning of the game. So the way that the developers tried to balance this is that there's other items in the game that just give you a flat stat bonus throughout the entire game. And those are safer options because they don't require you to score on opponents. But items like the special attack specs or the attack weight are great because if you do score quickly, you're going to have a huge advantage against them right at the beginning of the match. It's going to tamper down towards the end of the match, but having an advantage at the beginning of the match means, oh my god, the opponents at the end of the game, they need to get Zapdos. They're desperate. And so you can catch them off guard there. That's why I really love both of those items as well. The other item that I think is a little overtuned is this item right here. It's the Buddy Barrier. Long story short, every single Pokemon has a Unite move. It's like their ultimate ability that you get around level 8, level 10. And normally when you use it, it's supposed to just be a super damaging attack, or it's supposed to provide some supportive element. Like with Wigglytuff, it provides a shield, I think. But Buddy Barrier puts a shield on top of whatever your normal effect is. And the thing is, in this game, even though it's only 10 minutes long, you have the opportunity to do 3 Unite attacks every single game, if you time it properly. That's what makes this so huge, because it really turns around those skirmishes where there's 4 of you in one area and 4 of somebody else in another area, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I'm getting attacked by so many people, I'm gonna pop up this Unite move, and it's not only gonna give me a shield to prevent me from dying, but it's gonna hopefully take out one of them in the process if I'm an attacker, or in Wigglytuff's case, I'm going to provide double shield for everybody on my team, which is super huge. So I think that items like this are super huge and very critical to actually getting through. I've got a couple of other items that I think are really good. The Shell Bell is not one of them. The Shell Bell is actually one of my biggest mistakes. I would not recommend upgrading that at all. I think that the item underneath it, though, is the other item that I wanted to talk about, which is the Focus Band. Long story short, the more that you can survive skirmishes, the more that you can influence the match. And that's what makes this item particularly great, because this item will guaranteedly heal you at least 3 times when you're close to death. It's the most consistent healing item in the game, and it really provides a lot of longevity for the squishier characters like Greninja. There are other items in the game that offer similar effects, like the Shell Bell, but the problem with the Shell Bell is that there's a lot of conditions that you need to fulfill, whereas the Focus Band's condition is just, if you get damaged and you hit a certain threshold, you're going to get healed. That's it. The Shell Bell is, you need to hit a Pokemon, and you're only going to recover this minimum amount, and there's going to be a cooldown of a certain period for you to actually get that amount back. So it's not going to be useful for those periods where you're getting hit by multiple people and you're thinking to yourself, oh my god, my cooldown on Shell Bell is still up. There's no way that I'll be able to heal in time to survive. Whereas the Focus Band is just you hit this threshold of 14% of health left, you're going to get healed no matter what. So I think that at the end of the day, if you wanted to only focus on 3 items to get to level 30, the 3 items you need to choose are the 3 on the bottom of the screen right now. The Focus Band, the Buddy Barrier, and the Score Shield, because those 3 are going to be good on every single Pokemon, regardless of what type they are. Survivability is very crucial in this game. So, I've been talking a lot. It's been around 30 minutes. I think that some people are probably itching to see a couple of ranked matches at this point, right? So let me look at the chat really quick to see if there's any other questions that I should probably answer before we start. Sarah Hashemi, who also appeared on a notification, says, "Please, for the love of Mew, do not weaken Zappy when we are winning." Yes, can't stress that enough. Like, the most common mistake with beginners is that they see Zapdos appear and they're like, must kill it, without thinking about what is the condition of the game currently. Winning teams do not need that additional boost. In fact, the losing teams need it a lot more, and so you can catch them off guard and catch them in an advantageous state. And so use that to your advantage and try to attack them while they're attacking Zapdos. It essentially makes your matches a 2 versus 1. And 9 times out of 10, you're going to win it with that mentality. So, yeah, totally agree with you, Sarah. All right, with this being said, though, let's get into a couple of matches. It's been long enough. I think that we are ready to see the magic happen. I'm going to play as one of 3 Pokemon, depending on what my teammates choose. So let's see what they choose. So the people that are familiar with this game will see that I'm technically a little below average for Master. That's because I just went on a 4-game losing streak. I don't want to talk about it. But... So the 3 Pokemon that I'm going to be choosing between are Wigglytuff, obviously, Greninja, and Alolan Ninetales, depending on what my team chooses. And actually, this brings up another tip that I want to bring up. Seeing what your team is doing, especially in solo queue, is so important. So right now I'm seeing somebody wants to be defender. I'm seeing somebody is a Lucario, who honestly is probably one of the best Pokemon in the game at this point. Cramorant, that's interesting. And the Greninja is going to go into center. I'm going to go with Wigglytuff for sure for this. What's really important before you start is what I just did, hitting battle prep and letting your team know exactly where you want to go. The composition that you want is 2-1-2. 2 people on top, so in this case, it's Lucario and Blastoise. 2 on bottom, that's Wigglytuff and Cramorant, and 1 in the middle, that's Greninja. Greninja is going to be responsible for, basically in the first 3 minutes, hopping all over the map. But so long as you have a 2-1-2 composition, you should be okay. And the reason why I went with Wigglytuff in particular here is because we had 3 attackers on the team. We got Lucario, we got Greninja, we got Cramorant, which could use a lot more defense on the team. And Wigglytuff is really good at that in particular. Alrighty. So let's check this out. One thing that I really love about the mobile setup is that I think a lot of the buttons are simultaneously unintuitive, like what I just did there, and intuitive. You're not going to get better results control-wise from Switch or mobile. Where you're going to find differences in performance is graphics and frames per second, which I gotta say, for mobile, I found that the frames per second is a lot steadier than it is for Switch. It's very fascinating. And when talking to a couple of friends of mine who have phones lesser than I have an iPhone 12 Pro Max, so maybe that has something to do with it. According to them, the performance is still really good. It makes me question, whether the developers, originally developed the game for mobile before adapting it to Switch, but we'll see. Okay. Alright, so in this instance, we're 3 versus 2. It's not worth trying to pursue them. Let's fall back to our goal right here. Make sure that we survive, because at the end of the day, the bottom lane's goal is you need to defend this goal before Dreadnought shows up at the level, or at the minute 7 mark. What you'll find out in the higher ranks is that this game is essentially a winning game for Dreadnought. My Cormorant partner's like, what are you doing, dude? Trying to explain things on a stream, dude. Alright, let's see. Cormorant also actually got a nerf recently in the patch, which was totally undeserved. First of all, it's the funniest Pokemon. It sometimes gets a Pikachu in its mouth and gets to shoot that out, which is awesome. But alright. So, alright. My partner on the bottom is very good. Okay, so one thing that I want to point out for anybody that's playing mobile in particular is that there are a couple of buttons you should get familiar with, and they're on the right screen right here. They're the fist, the shield, and the flag. The flag in particular is really good for letting your teammates know, as you can see on screen, gather here. It lets them know, hey, Dreadnought's about to pop up. Alright. Fortunately, we have a good team and all of our teammates are here. I'm going to go with Double Slap with Wigglytuff. I have never seen the value of Dazzling Gleam for multiple reasons that I can get into after this fight. Okay. Oh. Our team's actually doing a pretty good job. No. Fall back, dude. Fall back. Oh, God. Alright. So what I just did there is I eject buttoned out of a dangerous situation. That's what makes the eject button the best item in this game. It's so versatile in being an offensive option to pursue enemies or get away from bad situations like what just happened there. And so what you're seeing already in this Masters ranked match is, oh my god, there's like a minute-long skirmish to see who's going to get the Dreadnought in this corner over here. Unfortunately, the opposing team just got it, which is bad. But, no fear. They're going to try to be super aggressive and score on this goal right here. And so, what you need to do is kind of hold your ground. Make sure that you take out as many of them as you can, because you have the advantage, remember, with the HP regen. See? So, one of them wiped and they kind of just, like, gave up pursuit as a result. Now you can catch them really off guard. This Greninja is, like, super over-leveled. Okay, so I'm going to try to score right now. Didn't really work out. One of the things with Wigglytuff in particular that's really good is that you have the capacity to kind of score whenever you want so long as Sing is up. That's actually super advantageous because not only does it, like, provide pressure, but if you're running things like the special attack specs, it just guarantees that you're going to get the attack boosts. I haven't really been able to get that in this game so far, but here, let me try to do an example right now. Okay. Alright, didn't really work out there, unfortunately. This team seems to know what they're doing, believe it or not. So, I was able to snipe this guy, though, which is really good. Alright, let's see if I can go for that again. As you can see on the minimap in the upper right corner, there are timers that let you know when things are happening. And so it's kind of obscured right now by other icons, but you guys see how it says 16, 15, 14. That's when Dreadnought's coming back. So always keep an eye on that, because, again, this game is about who gets Dreadnought. If you get him, your team has a level advantage over everyone else, which is super huge. It's kind of why I'm getting steamrolled right now by this team. Alright, let's see. Alright, let's see. Our team just totally wiped. In the top left corner, oh my gosh, a surrender vote. In the top left corner, you can see who on your team is actually died or survived, that's actually really important to give you context clues for what to do next. So you might be wondering, why am I going to the top right now? The reason why is because there's another Pokemon on the top that I haven't talked about yet. His name is Rotom, and here, the Venusaur is doing the same exact thing. Long story short, if you kill Rotom, get the killing blow on him, he will advance towards your enemy's goalpost. He will advance towards your enemy's goalpost and essentially eliminate the scoring timer. And so he's not as important as Dreadnought as a result, but you can catch your opponents off guard if they're focused on the bottom by basically trying to secure Rotom and be like, hey, there's something happening on top. You guys got to go there right now. So here's the thing. The announcer will say at certain points, like, we're really struggling, or like, oh, you're doing really badly. Don't pay attention to that. I kind of wish this game didn't have those, because the game always comes down to the final 2 minutes. Who secures Zapdos? Who's coming in 15 seconds? What you want to do for sure in these situations is make sure that you keep your Unite move. You'll see in the upper right corner. I've got it right there. Keep your Unite move and return to base to make sure that you have full health going into the final skirmish in the middle. Let's see, nobody's there currently. Venusaur is trying to catch me off guard, but he's not going to. I'm going to follow this Blastoise for a little bit, because he seems to know what he's doing. He's going to try to snipe. He's going to try to snipe the Zapdos. Didn't exactly work out. Let's see. It's always important to keep an eye on Zapdos, too, to see if now is the right opportunity to actually go ahead and try to secure that kill. Right now, I'm not seeing anything that proves that. Alright, cool. So 2 of them are dead. I think now is the maybe opportune time to go for it. Let's see if he goes for it. No, the Blastoise didn't. So, that's okay. Let's kill this guy first. I popped my Unite move to give Blastoise a shield. That's the Buddy Barrier in effect that I'm talking about. Alright, let's see. Most unfortunately, and I'm probably out of the game at this point. Okay, so unfortunately that was a really bad first example, but there was a lot of things that I could explain in the strategy that helps hopefully you understand the flow of the game, kind of the mentalities that you need to take going forward. And the biggest thing I want to say about each match is don't do what these guys are doing right here, basically just giving up at the end. I'll say this again and again, the team that's going to win is the team that doesn't have that mentality going forward. So I didn't do very well that match, to be honest. Probably because I'm paying a little too much attention to you guys right here. But let's go into another match and see if we can try to get another victory from there. I'm hoping that at some point I'll be able to play as Greninja to explain the sniping potential that I think he has. I think that even with the buffs, Greninja is just fine, particularly because, or the nerfs rather, particularly because they buffed his Unite move. His Unite move comes out a lot faster now as a result, so it's a lot more reliable, and you don't have to run something like Buddy Barrier on him to ensure that he lives throughout the process. So he's still capable of sniping. And you can replace that with, you know, a scope lens, which is an item that increases critical attacks, or something better to help his damage output. So again, I'm going to wait to see what my team does and determine from there what makes the most sense role-wise. Alright, so I'm seeing a Gardevoir that's an attacker, not claiming their lane. Come on, dude. All right, top lane. All right, there we go. Another Greninja in the center lane. Always puts you on edge when somebody claims center lane right away. And we got two people on bottom. Okay, so I'm seeing a defender and essentially three attackers. Unfortunately, I think I need to go Wigglytuff again. But that's okay, because top path is actually going to be a great demonstration of what I mean by rotate to Dred. It's one of the phrases that you'll see plastered everywhere on Reddit. It's going to be one of those phrases that, like, it's a meme already. Like, it's going to separate the noobs from the people that know what they're doing in this game. When you're in the top lane, you have to be responsible not only for protecting your goal and trying to score goals while you're up there, but you have to remember at the 7-minute mark, once Dreadnought appears on the bottom, rotate to Dred. So that's where that term comes from. It's basically rotating down to the bottom lane. I know not a lot of people are fans of this, by the way, but I'm a huge fan of the Hawaiian alts for Pokemon. It assumes that, like, they're on vacation and just, like, have time to do this or whatever. Alright, let's see if we have better luck in this game. So that's the one complaint that I currently have about the mobile version. The item button is too close to one of your move icons. So it's very easy to do what I just did, which is basically, instead of hitting my attack, what I wanted to do, I used my item, and now it's on a 50-second cooldown, which is not great. Normally, a good strategy is to take this Pokemon right here in the center, but because our opponents were way ahead of us to begin with, I decided not to even attempt that. Alright, this guy is overextending like crazy. Overextending basically means, like, you know, attempting to score when you have no defense to do so, and you're about to get attacked by so many things. So, I'm going to score really quickly. With Wigglytuff and other supports, it's really important to score as quickly as possible. The reason why is because not only does it get you to level 4, so you get your support moves like Sing or whatnot, but it also puts them at a disadvantage. Again, a lot of this game is psychological, right? So now that we just scored, they're behind, they're going to get super aggressive. Look at them coming at us when there's 3 of us here. Very, very silly move. I'm going to go back here, try to get some guaranteed experience. Okay, so my goal currently, even though I have 3 points, again, the special attack specs, I don't know why that's so hard for me to say, will give me a boost so long as I score. So my goal for right now is I'm going to wait until Sing comes back, and I'm going to score. Boom. See, he fell asleep. I was able to eject button away and get them into a disadvantaged position. Unfortunately, that wasn't the greatest example because the middle person ended up coming out of nowhere and basically ganking me. It's a term for when you don't see them coming, they end up scoring on you. The good news, though, is that I have now 2 times of an attack boost. So what I'm going to do is, I see that there are 15 seconds left on the clock before I need to rotate to Dred. I'm going to see if I can try to sneak in one more score to get a little bit more of an attack boost. Alright. Going to base is a great tool because... Jeez, they already got him. That's crazy. Going to base is a great tool because in these first 2 lanes, you get a speed boost. Alright, so I'm seeing currently that on the top, there's still Rotom. In the last match, I went to Rotom instead of the bottom because I noted that the team that we were facing had already taken Dreadnought. So it's more advantageous at this point to go this way. most unfortunately, this team is very organized. There's a chance that I might be facing a team that, you know, is super organized and not actually solo queue. But we will see going forward. Again, the tendency for a lot of people is to immediately surrender in these cases. Game's not over until Zapdos speaks. So let's go to the bottom. The top goal, as you can see in the bottom, or in the top left, has already been taken. And so what's going to be more disadvantageous to them is if they lose their bottom left goal. Ugh. Eldegoss, where are you going, dude? My Eldegoss is running away instead of supporting, but okay. Ugh, and we already have somebody that quits. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Like, don't be this person. There's a lot of that when you get to the higher ranks, unfortunately. Alright, there's no way I'm going to be able to, unfortunately, take all of them, so let's see if I can at least try to push him away. 10 seconds down on the timer for Dreadnought on the bottom, as you can see in the top left. One thing that people don't know is if you click in the top right corner of the screen, you can move the map. This is really good for determining whether or not it's even worth going to Dreadnought. The fact that we have 4 dots, by the way, means that somebody has already disconnected from the game. So, not good stuff, people. Not getting really great luck right now on Launcher Live, unfortunately. So let's see if we can try a couple more games. I would love to get at least one win to show you what I'm talking about. I really want to play one game as Greninja in particular, so that I can show you the snipe potential that you can utilize when you're in solo queue. The other thing to note about this game is, like all MOBAs, you're going to go on losing streaks. You need to have the right mentality going in, because even if you're solo queue, or especially if you're solo queue, you're going to be paired up with people that don't know what they're doing. And so what you can do in solo queue is mitigate the stupid, essentially, that they do by playing very smart. And there are particular ways that you can do that. Unfortunately, I've had teammates that I've wanted to surrender every single time so far. So see if we can get one more. I think we have time for at least 2 more games at this point, but I would love to get at least one win in to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so once again, I'm going to wait to see what people are picking. What I'll say off the top is, and excuse me if the burp actually picked up on my mic, Washington Post people. What I'll say is that a good strategy is to play characters that you know. If you're comfortable enough in the game, you can do what I'm doing and just wait to see what people are choosing. But 9 times out of 10, it's usually better to just go with the characters that you're familiar with. I'm seeing a lot of attackers, so I'm going to go with a super defender in this case. I'm going to go with Blastoise. And I'm going to go top. Here's another tip for you guys. If you're noticing that you're losing a lot, try to call top lane. Because the key to this game, again, is rotating to Dred. It's making sure that you get those critical victories against the special Pokemon, like Dreadnought or Zapdos. And if you go to the top lane, you have a guarantee that at least 3 Pokemon will be on the bottom, you, who rotates to the bottom, and the 2 that are already there. So, again, it's not an ideal situation if you're a solo queuer, but it's you mitigating stupidity. It's you trying to get the best of a bad situation. Wow. That's another thing that's interesting about this game. So I'm looking at the ranks right now and our players, and it appears as though 2 players are in beginner and great. The matchmaking in this game is not good. It's by far the biggest issue in this game. Ugh, there's that eject button again. You know, I was going to write a story about how I believe the mobile version is better than the Switch version, but I gotta say, after so many eject button mishaps, I might want to reconsider. Alright, so currently this situation is not looking great, only because where's my top partner? Well, we will see. The goal of a defender is not necessarily to score all the time. When I'm running on my Squirtle / Blastoise currently, is something that just ensures survivability. It's the set of 3 items that I said works for every Pokemon. It's the Focus Band, it's the Score Shield, it's the Buddy Barrier. That Pikachu way overextended, unfortunately, so nothing you can do about that, but... Alright, Alexander. Let's see. Oh, I like how there's a lantern trail behind the Pikachu. That's kind of rad. I never noticed that. Alright, this Cinderace has no idea what he's doing. He's absolutely dead. So in that case, I use the eject button to try to get back to base. It's really important when you're in those skirmishes to ensure that you survive again. Because 9 times out of 10, like what just happened there, the enemy will back off. Yeah. Oh man. A mid Slowbro. That's how you know that you're facing a set team. Slowbro is definitely not a character that normally goes mid. The fact that he's level 6 already, normally Pokemon at this point are like level 4 or 5-ish, indicates that he went to the mid, which means that he took the center path, which has the most XP. It's the Pokemon, the player that you expect to go to the top or bottom depending on who actually needs the help. Alright, let's see. I got 20 seconds till we got to rotate to Dred. I'm going to choose Hydro Pump, because again, it's all about positioning. Ugh. That's the one thing about Slowbro that's annoying. That telekinesis move. Oof. And my my fellow top mate doesn't know what he's doing necessarily. Fortunately, I was able to take out that Cinderace. Alright. It's time to rotate. I'm already a little late as it is. Yep, I'm coming. So, that Blissey already knows the strategy. Said gather here. Wants us to go there. I don't know what that Pikachu's doing on top. They must be new. But... Alright, let's see. So, I'm going to let my teammates try to take them out, and I'm going to push everyone else away so that they can't possibly get them. That's the best use of a defender. You're not supposed to be damaged. You're supposed to be somebody that gets people out of position. Just like that. Perfect. This team... Alright, I'm feeling good about this team, people. And I'm sorry for my coworkers, because I'm kind of yelling. The top team, unfortunately... realized the situation and went for Rotom. I'm gonna see if I can get there in time. Ugh! Nope. Sorry. Was not able to, unfortunately. Yeah, our Pikachu needs a little help. They seem relatively new. Here's what I'm gonna do. We have a very big advantage on the bottom. Look at the top left and then map icon again. See how we have our base, but they don't? That's a huge advantage, especially when Dreadnought reappears, which should be around the 4-minute, 3:30-second mark. I think the respawn timer is maybe 3 minutes, something like that. Alright. Get out of here. Alright. So, here's my thing about Unite moves. Unite moves, they seem flashy like that, and every single time they come up, you're probably going to want to use it. Resist the urge. The reason why I used it there is because, on average, every Pokemon has about a 2 to 3 minute cooldown timer on them. That's very big because you need to keep in mind when your Unite move is going to come back for Zapdos, which again is the most important battle. So I used it there because I saw it was 5 minutes left. I will have it by the time that Zapdos comes back up, which is most important. I'm going to help my teammates on the bottom because you see... Shoot. Alright, that's okay. Let's see if we can... There's a Pikachu on the top, taking the Rotom already. Oof. Team's not doing great right now. But that's okay. The fact that there are 5 people down here is actually good. It indicates that Pikachu is the only person on top that's attacking that Rotom. So it's actually looking pretty decent that we're going to get that guy. Let me see if I can try to help him out. Get out of here, bees. There you go. Ugh. Normally, the move... Normally, you're hoping that the goal on the top at this point is destroyed, so the secondary goal is the one that Rotom goes for. But okay, so you see how my Unite move is here. I'm not going to use it, because there are 3 minutes left. He just used his Unite move. That's stupid. Now he doesn't have it for the most critical match, which is Zapdos. And so that could have been a great snipe. As a result... Am I really? As a result, I have my ultimate move ready. I have the potential to turn around the game if I can take that Zapdos in the middle. This is the biggest mistake that rookies and people that have played the game a while have made, honestly. It's like, it's so tempting to use the Unite to kill people right away, but don't do it. Save it for Zapdos. It's so important. Zoroark's like, keep the pressure on. Oop. That's another big thing. Oh, shoot. So, I was about to score it, then I saw that I only had 20 points compared to Zoroark's, like, 50? And so I backed off, but then they did too. So that kind of stunk. Alright. I'm gonna return to base to make sure... Oh, shoot. Ah, that was lucky. Alright, so... Their goal as a team is going to be to defend Zapdos, and at this point, they seem coordinated enough to make me believe that they're not going to actually try to attack him. Let's see if there is an opening. Oh, wow. Okay. They actually went for it. Alright, well, such is the way it goes sometimes in ranked, fellas. Let's see. I think I have time for one more. Hopefully I'll be able to actually get a victory this time. The biggest lesson of today that I want to enforce on people is that it may look as though, like, things are bleak and, like, I basically have no shot and, you know, even though I have the right strategies, like, there's no way that I can potentially win. Don't think that way, because you will get teammates like I got today, and you will get great teammates that know what they're doing. I think earlier in this stream there was a... Was it a Lucario? I don't remember. But there was... Oh, was it a Cramorant? There was a Cramorant on the top route that definitely knew what they were doing. So... Don't get discouraged. If you get too salty, be sure to take a break from the game. This is a very common experience with every MOBA. Like, if you want to try to climb ranks, you're going to lose. Let's see if this guy will just dance with me. Oh, come on, bro. He didn't want to dance with me. He just wanted to kick me in the face. Okay, so I'm going to try one more time. Let's see if we get some good partners. If I notice right away that it's bots, I'm probably just going to quit the match because that's not worth it. There's a system that's in place for this game that's basically... it's probably in place for the developers to incentivize players from getting too discouraged. But every, I think it's like 4th, 5th, maybe 6th match, you will get paired with a match where everybody is a bot. Yes, it's a feature of this game. It's meant to encourage you. It's an easy victory, and 9 times out of 10 you can tell if you're facing a bot. So I'm going to do one more game really quickly, see if we can get this. If not, that's okay. We'll wrap up, and I will kind of recap everything that I went over today, and we will take it from there. All right. You know what? I've been waiting to use Greninja all day. I'm going to use him in this instance. Try to show you what I mean by the sniping potential, and go from there. Again, a easy strat for solo rank is make sure that you claim top path right away. It's going to guarantee that at least 3 people will be down there when you rotate to Dred, which, again, is the thing that turns the tide of the battle. So... all right. Let's see. We've got only 2 people caught on their path. I'll try to call out to these people and be like, "What are you doing?" The thing that I really love about this MOBA in particular, and you know, let me know in the comments if you're watching after the fact or not, is that there is literally limitless potential for the type of Pokemon they can bring into this game. There's what, at this point, around 1,000? I lost track with the most recent gen. But there's around 1,000 Pokemon that they could bring into this game, and so sky's the limit. Alright, let's see. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this team so far. Again with that eject button. Alright, I gotta see if there's a way to actually change that, because I keep hitting that. It might just be a result of my fat thumbs, to be honest. Okay, so I'm gonna try to steal this, because we actually... I don't know if we got it that time. Oh, that's funny. We have the same exact team comp. Alright. That's okay, though. There's little chance that they'll be able to score just because they're so low-leveled. It's better to attempt to go for that one. If you're on the top lane, go for the bottom Pokemon here. If you're in the bottom lane, go for the top. It's essentially just a way to get more experience on your side. Because, again, this game is all about experience. Alright, let's see. Alright. We fortunately have our center guy that came in, so I'm going to come in and try to help. Score really quick. The double advantage to scoring that people don't talk about, scoring automatically heals you. So even though, like, some people say, like, oh, it's selfish, you gotta, like, you know, take one for the team and, like, drop back when you need to, sometimes it's actually more advantageous to score, because you get your health back, and you actually stand a better chance of living as a result. Alright, this Zeraora is cleaning up. Alright, but we gotta drop back right now, unfortunately. Alright, so I'm checking the clock. We've got a good 1 minute. Let me see if I can try to get some more scores in. In a very ideal scenario, you are going to be scoring maybe like 3 or 4 times before you go down. Alright. Get back up, dude. Back up. Alright, he's fine. At 7:30, 7 minutes 30 seconds, there's another crab that's going to spawn here. That's kind of why I'm chilling there. Kind of hoping that I can get some more... Maybe it's 7:20. Kind of hoping that I get more points so that I can score before I head back down. Let me just double check. Oh, you know what? They might have changed the spawn results. That's interesting. Alright, so let's see. Again, when you're using the scoring items, you don't need a lot of points. You just need this. So I'm going to take full advantage of that. Use go to base, because that's going to be quicker. You get a speed boost when you're in this area. I'm going to look at the map really quick, see how we're doing. Alright, nobody's attacking Dred. That's good. Alright. It's wiggly tough. You can catch me off guard. I'm going to give that berry to my Ninetales, because Ninetales provides a buff to everyone. It's more important than just straight up damage. You might have noticed me doing this technique, by the way. It's the circle technique. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Long story short, it heals you faster. What's more important is just making sure you're in the right position. Oof. I do not know how they got that. Alright. I think in this case, I'm going to let them score. Only because there's an opportunity for going to the top with Rotom. In fact, 2 of my other teammates already see that opportunity too. Wow. Unfortunately, the other team already sees it too. Alright, let's see. The new voices for... So one of the funny things about this game is that, like, a lot of people complained that the voice for the announcer, when he said, like, the messages, rather, that appeared, they'd say, like, we're really struggling or whatnot. A lot of people found that demoralizing. So apparently, the developer's solution was to add a guy voicing lines on top of that, saying, like, you can do it and stuff. And, like, honestly, that's more demoralizing. But... Alright, so let me see if I can... I don't have my Unite move yet, because I'm not level 9, but... Let's see. Our team is in really good shape, because 4 of them are dead. Alright, we're gonna get this Rotom, which is really crucial. And instead of joining them on top, situational awareness, 14 seconds on the bottom. And this Ninetales sees it too. And so... that's really important in this game. It might be easy to get caught up in the moment and just be like, oh my god, my team's, you know, getting the top Rotom. Like, I gotta go there and, like, score goals. Nope. You gotta be very smart about your positioning. Alright, so I have my Unite move. I'm gonna see if I can do the snipe that I've been... Oh, wow, they already got him. Alright, well... Let's see. I should... One of the things that I'll mention is that if you find that your math has been a little off, and you think that you won't have your Unite move in time for when Rotom... For when Zapdos comes up, kill enemies, because each enemy you kill will raise your Unite move bar by 5%. So... I'm going to do that really quick. Just to ensure that you get your Unite move. This is kind of like one of those strategies where it's like, you definitely need to ensure that you have your Ignite move for the next match with Zapdos, because it's going to be the thing that turns it around. All right, let's see. Okay. Let's get this way. The other kind of weird thing about this game that I kind of want to talk about in a story that I do with it is that there are so many comeback mechanics. And so, long story short, I'm going to have my Unite move ready at a very critical juncture with Zapdos. Even though our team has basically been losing this entire time. All right, ready? Here we go. You know what? Our team is actually doing a really good job defending, so I'm going to save it for now. Okay, see if we can take it out. This is definitely a victory for us. Yeah. All right, this team definitely knew what they were doing. Finally. So, again, like I said, you're going to lose a lot. Don't get discouraged. You will eventually get teams like this that know what they're doing. So what I'm doing at this point is basically just trying to add on to the lead a little bit while we still have the timer. Alright, I wasn't able to do so, unfortunately. The other thing about this game that's interesting is depending on your kill streak, the game actually punishes you for that. If you're on a very long kill streak, like I just was, the game takes you out of the game longer. The cooldown to actually come back increases, which I find very counterintuitive. It basically disincentivizes players to play well. It's again, speaking to that like weird comeback mechanic that I mentioned, this game always tries to ensure that like no matter where you are score-wise, you have a chance to come back, which is at times frustrating, but I understand the appeal. This Wiggly, thinking they're the real Wiggly. There you go. Okay, so without a doubt, we won that game. Yeah. All right, we got one. I think that's a fantastic place to leave off. It's essentially, I'm going to give all of my teams a thumbs up. They definitely knew what they were doing, gaming-wise. This is a great microcosm of the Pokemon Unite experience. You are going to lose a lot of games. Don't get discouraged. You will find people like this that know what they're doing, that know how to play this game and know how to play it well. So really quickly before I wrap up, I want to check the chat just to make sure that there aren't any questions that I missed, any comments that I kind of want to bring up. And then we can do the wrap-up phase. But really quickly, yeah, this is a very good depiction of what this game is like, I agree. Okay, so yeah, let's wrap it up right here. Thank you everybody for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, please let us know in the comments below. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want more content like this. The notification bell in particular is really important because it'll let you know every time that there's new videos or a live stream is coming up, which is super huge. So thank you to everybody that helped make this stream possible. Hawken in the background, who is the person that is always there with me when it comes to tech issues and tech whatnot. Basically, he manned the show for today, so I really appreciate that. And for everybody that tuned in, thank you for your time. Hope you learned something here. And until we see each other again, have a safe launchies. It's what Mikhail, who's sometimes on stream, always says, so I gotta give a shout out to him. So have a safe launchies.